Welcome everyone to round 2 of June 12th Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Unfortunately, this will be our last round of the June 12th Locals Night, as I forgot to record round number 3. So, without further ado, let's talk about the leaders, the decks, and jump into game number 1. Over here, we got Vader Red. It's what you expect. It's Darth Vader in the showcase, of course, utilizing his ability that if you attack with a non-token vehicle unit, create a TIE token. And we're just here with the red. I think yellow still is a lot more popular than red ever would have been, but nonetheless, it's just your flavor of Darth Vader at that point. Who do you like the most? But anyways, what Vader just does great is spam out a bunch of vehicles in the sky and beat our opponent to death with TIE Fighter tokens. Then we have Thrawn Data Vault, probably the most popular version of Thrawn. This is the JTL Thrawn, also in Showcase. So I got a couple of Showcase leaders for you all here. This is not the set 1 Thrawn. This is the set 4 Thrawn that when you utilize a when defeated ability, you can utilize that ability again. So he double taps all when defeated abilities. Vader, again, when awakens at 6 or more resources, attaches himself to a vehicle, and then creates 2 TIE tokens. Otherwise, he can go down to the ground to be vanilla. Thrawn awakens at 6 resources, and then does the exact same thing on his front side. But unlike tapping him here, he can only do it once per turn. But again, he double taps all when defeated abilities. And then we have the Data Vault to allow the Thrawn deck to go up to 60 cards here, and go up to 30 health. I've already tried one of these decks before. That should be popping up in YouTube for you all if you want to check out a deck profile and some gameplay I did for this leader as well. But without further ado, let's jump into game number 1 here. We have our players rolling the dice. It looks like we got a tie. 2, 2, 3. It looks like Thrawn will be taking the play here for us all as we begin, of course, with the Director Critic to reduce the cost of all our win defeated characters by 1. We have a Kylo's TIE Silencer in the sky there. Really good card to automatically start off with because it has a 3-2. Anyways, Thrawn is going to be taking initiative here. It does have to find out a way to deal with that Kylo's TIE Silencer because, again, now all the stuff is going to be coming out. We have the shuttle coming down, which is actually a really good way to deal with, of course, that Kylo's TIE Silencer. Darth Vader will be able to make a TIE token here. Anyways, we do have these. So the First Order TIE Fighter coming down as well. I think it's the First Order. I forget the official name of it. But anyways, when played, you can do something, but really it's just there to be a body. So anyways, going to take a Kylo's TIE Silencer, just try to remove that one. Anyways, we didn't have Victor Leader. Immediately, Victor Leader is going to die immediately to a takedown, which is probably a good idea. Anyways, Krene is going to then attack for 2 there. Little TIE token going to attack. Vader is going to tap down. I know our opponent really isn't tapping, but again, Thrawn is just taking the initiative, so no real reason to tap down the Vader, but legally you do have to tap down the Vader to show that you did utilize his effect. Anyways, Vader is only 1 away from awakening here. Anyways, we have the Corellian Corvette coming down because it has a when defeated skill. It does get to be reduced by the effect of Director Critic. So anyways, we're going to tap the Thrawn. We're going to draw 2 cards off of the death of the shuttle. Anyways, we're going to attack a I think that's Victor Wingman 3 to it. We're going to give a +1 to that TIE Fighter, and then immediately deal a couple more damage. Vader is going to then tap to then allow himself to again make another TIE token. Again, Vader is all here as we have the cohort bomber on the cohort combat squadron also up there, which gets a +1 for every other vehicle, which is a really good thing to attach to, of course, Vader there. We'll just have to see if the Thrawn player can deal with it. We're immediately going to go for no glory, only results to take it and then defeat it so that our opponent doesn't get to attach to it, and the only thing he can attach to is a TIE Fighter. That is not a really big Vader, even though he gets a +5/+5 on that. There's still a very little TIE Fighter. Anyways, we're going to knock out the First Order TIE Fighter, immediately deal 3 damage to that, and then heal the base thanks to his skill. We're then going to attach the Vader Legendary to the other TIE Fighter. I'm sorry for the glare there of the character that just came down. Anyways, we're going to then waken up Thrawn there. Once again, he does the exact same thing on his front side, but it's only once per turn. You can double the rate. That's Val. Val is in the glare there. Apologies for the glare. Anyways, we got Thrawn coming down as well. Going to be interesting to see how exactly the Thrawn player wins out on this one. This looks to be in the favor of the Vader player 100%. Anyways, Vader coming down. Thrawn's going to trigger his double when defeated effect to then, of course, heal on the attack and then heal on death. So that's really nice there. So really good to heal all together. Anyways, then we're going to swing with the Vader to go to 21 there. And then we're going to immediately attack, or maybe that's actually 12. But anyways, 𝐒𝐓𝐾 Corvette coming down, again, being reduced by 1 because of the fact. Then we're going to go Scramble. Oh, I have not seen someone play that one. That is a legendary from JTL that was very interesting. You create 7 or 8 TIE Fighter tokens. They cannot attack the base. So you just create a bunch of TIE Fighters all over the board. So that's 8 TIE Fighter tokens that can never actually attack the base. So yeah, you made a bunch of 1/1s, which is going to be annoying. So looks like the Thrawn player is just going to scoop it up. Yeah, when you have 8 1/1 or 7 1/1 TIE Fighter tokens now all on the board, not mentioning Vader, and you don't have a way to sweep up those 1/1s like Nebula Ignition or anything like that, which again, I don't think neither player was even close enough to like a board wipe like Super Laser Blast or even Nebula Ignition. There was really nothing there to do by thing like Super Laser Blast would have been the only way to do it. Or Snoke would have been really nice there too, because it would automatically you have wiped the board as well. And all of that. But nonetheless, it looks like Vader is going to get game number 1, thanks to swarming the board, exactly what Vader does best in this strategy. We'll have to kind of see if Vader actually continues to be kind of meta defining for the LOF meta, or Legends of the Force meta. I think he still has a very strong contingent in this meta just because he swarms all over the place. So let's move into game number 2. All right, here we go for game number 2. Apologies for the out of focus camera, because apparently my camera at times will stay focused for games that are trying to decide it's tired of staying in focus. Technology. Anyways, it's not too bad. We can still make out everything. Anyways, we got a TIE Brute, and then we have a TIE Fighter coming down. Thrawn is immediately going to take initiative. We're going to get the other the other first order TIE Fighter that basically, or yeah, it's a first order TIE Fighter that as long as you have a token, you can get it gets a raid on it. Anyways, we're going to swing there. Again, taking out the little TIE Fighter is really good there. Anyways, we're going to have the shuttle coming down as well. We're not able to reduce the cost here because we don't have Director Krennic just down yet. Anyways, we have TIE Science, so we're immediately going to take the initiative. We're going to place another one of those guys, and then now they're going to get their raid ability thanks to the fact that there is a token up on the board. Anyways, it looks like my camera is starting to slowly figure out how to focus again, but nonetheless, it's not too bad. Anyways, we have both a TIE Brute and a shuttle here, so I have to kind of figure out the Thrawn player is going to knock out Kylo's TIE Silencer, just try to remove that from the board. We're going to take 2 damage from that TIE Fighter, and then we're going to trigger the Brute, and then Brute's going to be able to heal all that damage away, so basically we go back to nothing. Then we're going to immediately play the Darth Vader. We're immediately then going to go for the Long Pike in the ground there to deal that full damage, because again, Vader doesn't really have much of a ground presence, so attacking from the ground is actually really good for it. So anyways, we're going to do 1 damage, of course, to the Long Pipe. We're going to make another TIE token here. I'm going to see how exactly they're going to deal with that Vader legendary that's attached to, of course, that little TIE Fighter here to kind of figure out, because Long Pike can't give shields all over the place, but I'm not exactly sure that's going to be helpful. But anyways, it doesn't really matter when there's no glory on the results to take something that's not a leader unit and immediately kill it. So immediately we're going to kill that off, and then the shuttle's going to come in. We're immediately going to then activate its effect, good old Thrawn's effect. We're not going to use a Long Pike to give shields anywhere, as my camera finally decides that it's time to start focusing in. Cohort Bomber is going to come in. We're going to have immediately, we're immediately going to grab the Vader there. Did they swing with a guy that had, I think they only swung with a token. That may have been a misplay on the Vader player. I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember them swinging with a non-token vehicle unit. Anyways, we're immediately going to go for the play of the Corvette here. Vader on to that. That is going to be quite annoying, quite interesting. So anyways, Long Pike is going to go in. We're immediately going to give a shield to the Corellian Corvette and give a shield to a little TIE token because of Long Pike's effect. And we're going to make another TIE Fighter. We're going to bring out Thrawn as well. This cohort is going to be a massive cohort bomber. I'm kind of surprised we didn't just wait, maybe swing with the Long Pike or anything like that. I'm not exactly sure how the Thrawn player outs that cohort bomber here, because they are nearly dead here on the attack, that cohort bomber. So it'd be very interesting exactly how they survive. Yeah, the Corvette on death would be able to use this effect, Anyways, then we're going to bring out the Sentinel off of the Corellian Corvette, which would be pretty nice here because of the fact that the Cohort combat squadron will have to actually go through the Corvette first, take a bunch of damage off of it, and then all the little guys will have to swing into it as well. So it's going to be very interesting here. Again, Long Pike can, of course, also get it back another shield, so meaning that it can actually kill. The Cohort will take a bunch of damage for free here as we see the Long Pike swing in. We're going to give it yet another shield, so now it has 2 shields it has to pop through. Little TIE Fighter popping off at least one of the shields. Still plenty of stuff to do for it. Anyways, Overwhelming Barrage now. That's actually really good there. We're going to immediately knock out all the little TIE Fighters, all that, and then knock off a shield off of one of the other TIEs. So all the little TIE Fighters are gone here. That problem is the Cohort Bomber is going to have to actually tear through the, right now, the Cohort Bomber, if it even wants to get to the base, is going to have to go through that shielded Corellian, which the problem is now it's also buffed by +2 here, so it's actually pretty big, because again, it's getting the buff off of the pilot, all that. So anyways, they're going to pop the shield off that. Again, the bomber also did lose a lot of its power as well, so it did take 7 damage there. The Corellian Corvette's going to just knock out the other TIE Fighter token. It's going to maybe heal the 2. And then because it still has Sentinel, the Vader just won't be able to get through. So this time the Sentinel is definitely very, very playable because now with the tire bore just gone on the Vader side of the thing, the Cohort Bomber doesn't have much more than just the power buff from the Vader and of itself. So no additional power buffs from vehicles, not saying that, of course, the Vader player will be able to make more vehicles. I mean, this is a deck strategy. Maybe we're going to smash in. Thrawn is going to potentially, it looks like Thrawn is maybe not going to double trigger. I'm not exactly sure just yet, but anyways, then we have the Outland. Outland has no ability or anything like that. So anyways, Long Pike's going to attack in, going to give a shield to Thrawn, another guy, and then that's pretty much looking like it as they swing down. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but nonetheless, it's just too much power on the ground, as you can see, even with the 2 and the 3 there. That is a 4, 4, and a 6. So basically, the 6 here just wins it all. So even if the Vader player does take the initiative, this 6 dropped character, which I believe is Snoke. Oh yeah, this is Snoke. So this technically would kill off the other Outland Vanguard TIE Fighter, and then Snoke just goes in for game because he's got 6. Opponent has 6 health, they have 6 health. So Thrawn did take game 2. It really was a great thing that the Corvette really did come in there with the pilot that gave the Sentinel, and then the Cohort Bomber couldn't do any. The Cohort Combat Squadron couldn't do much, and then came down the good old Overwhelming Barrage to knock out everything on the board. I know a lot of people will be happy probably when Overwhelming Barrage is out of standard, because it can be kind of nuisance depending on the deck strategy. And with that, we're going into game number 3. Let's see who will win it all. Thrawn Data Vault or Vader Red. All right, here we go, folks. Game number 3. For all the marbles, who will take it all? Anyways, we're going to start off with the First Order that needs the token, and then we're immediately going to put down Wingman Victor 2, which I believe is the one that creates the tokens. Anyways, that automatically will give the rate there as well. Looks like Thrawn did not open any starters. Ooh, that does hurt there. We're going to go for the resupply to immediately start pushing up the tempo of getting resources. We're going to immediately then put down the other Victor Wingman so that we can do that. And the space is getting out of hand very, very quick there for Thrawn player. That is like massive damage. The raid, of course, does get the trigger there. That is another TIE token as well. And that is getting nasty for the Thrawn player right now, especially with no real use. We're immediately going to take the TIE Fighter with Treacherous to immediately have it. So that we can run it into, of course, the Kylo TIE sign. So I guess we'll run into it, killing it all. That will, of course, allow Vader to create a TIE token. The cohort, man, the Vader player has gotten that cohort off every game. And talk about getting that off every game, as my camera has decided that it's just wanting to die away and not focus on anything. The gameplay's just too riveting for my camera to focus. But anyways, we're going to immediately resource here. I definitely have the feeling this is more in the favor of the Vader player 100%. So the cohort is going to swing. Right, the Vader player is still down a resource here because of the fact that they are out. Because of the fact that they are 1 down, while the Thrawn player did ramp up thanks to resupply. So it'll be very interesting exactly what the Thrawn player wants to do here because of the fact that Vader is going to be coming out next turn. We're going to immediately go for the Corvette coming down, and we're going to make another tie. We're going to swing in for the 4 there, dealing damage off of that. then we're going to swing in with all the ties, create another tie, and then the Thrawn player should be having initiative here and all of that. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what damage threshold they're on right now. But anyways, we're going to immediately figure out exactly what they want to do. We're going to go Overwhelming Barrage. We're going to Overwhelming Barrage everything on the board so that if that Vader does come out, the cohort isn't as huge as it would be because of the fact of the matter that it only is going to have 2 tie tokens out on the board. So it's only going to get a buff of +2 off of its own effect here. So 2 little ties. We're going to immediately swing into the cohort. That will kill off the Corellian. But it doesn't really matter when the fact is the matter that Thrawn will just double it, and then we'll just kill off Thrawn there, and we'll immediately put out Director Krennic. Doubling on the cohort bomber here is pretty annoying, but then it's going to just swing in, so it is getting a +2 from the 2 tie tokens and a +2 from Overwhelming Barrage. But I do see my opponent does have takedowns here, which are pretty useful because, again, we'll be able to take down the Vader here because he should only have the under 4 threshold health just left if the math is mathing. But yes, it does look like the math is going to math, and that is going to take out Vader there. Vader should be in red. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. Technically, even if he wasn't in red, there's no way for anything like that to happen. Anyways, we're going to just go for an immediate takedown on the tie token that is buffed up there so that we don't have to worry about it. But unfortunately, it just looks like the space has just gotten out of hand for the Thrawn player. The only way they could get out of this easily is if they can get a super laser blast, and that is really about it. We're immediately going to go see the Reinforced Walker to pitch a Onyx Brute to the heal 3. That will give them a little more health, but unfortunately the showing of the Victor leader immediately puts that to end, and the Thrawn player will lose out to Vader Swarm. I really do like Vader Swarm, don't get me wrong. This deck strategy is still very viable, even I think in the set 5 meta, because what Vader just does is swarm the board with TIE fighters, and unless you have an out to the TIE fighters, or an out to even that cohort, the cohort comes down. It's just a lot of pain to deal with. I'm not exactly sure if many set 5 decks really have a great way to deal with Vader. So I definitely see Vader still being very strong in the meta because of his ability to swarm. And I also think Thrawn is still a very good leader. It's just the fact is, if you don't see the cards that deal with this matchup out here in space, like a good card there would have been to see is Snoke. Then you could drop Snoke, and then that would kill off Kylo's TIE Silencer. That would kill off the token. That would have killed off the TIE Advance, because they're all just 2 health, so they automatically lose it. So even if you drop Victor Leader can't even attack because it doesn't have any attack anymore. It's a 0-2, and even if you wanted to attack with it, it'd be pointless because then Vader would simply do it. And again, since Vader is more or less just space hate than anything else, it doesn't really have much of a ground presence to deal with like Snoke. Snoke could every turn just swing in for 6. But yeah, Vader Swarm takes it in the end. I don't know what round 3's decks were, so apologies that you guys won't be able to see round 3 of June 12th locals. And again, when we return to doing more local videos, we will be in the set 5 meta and checking out what our local players are bringing for set 5. There's some very interesting leaders from set 5. We'll have to see if some older leaders come back in fruition for set 5 and all of that. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comments your thoughts on the gameplay, on the leaders, on the decks. Did I miss something that I should have caught when these 2 players played? All of that. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you get notified when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time on Modern Dragons TCG.